Hello everyone, myself Gulin Kaur, and today I would like to represent my views on an influential criminologist named David Wilson. I have Dhanveer Kaur and Kiranjot Kaur in my team. David Wilson is a Scottish retired professor of criminology at Birmingham City University, and he was born on April 23rd, 1957. He served as influential editor of a famous Howard Journal of Criminal Justice, which is published 5 times annually. David served as a senior policy advisor to the Prison Reform Trust before starting his academic position in September 1997 and from October 1983. He was a prison governor. Following the completion of his PhD at Savin College in Cambridge, 1983, David joined HM Prison Service as a governor grade and worked in variety of settings in a range of capacity. His research, both in academic and applied, has centralized an aggressive male and the factor that it influenced some of them to become a serial killer. He is well recognized for his work as a commentator, writer, radio, and TV host. Professor Wilson worked as a, a prison governor, and now we will look at his career. So, Professor Wilson worked as a prison governor at HMP's Wormwood Scrub, Grandon, and Wood Hills before accepting his academic position in 1997. While there, he helped and designed two cells for a country's 12 most disruptive inmates, which then put them together to become the British serial killers. David was on our television in 2025, portraying the governor of Bristol in ITV series, becoming back to the Brussels and presenting serial killer Channel 4 documentaries Interview with a Murder, which won Best Documentary Award in 2017 and Royal Society Television Award in 2016. David modernized the widely popular Making a Murderer at the London Palladium in 2016. David also participated in 10-part CBC television series Voice of a Serial Murder. In addition to directory of Channel 4 documentary Interview with a Murder, which won the Best Documentary at Broadcasting Award. So now I will let Kiranjot to move further with the information on his researches.
My friend Gurleen has talked about his careers and about his previous lives. Now I'm talking about his researches. As David William was known for his academic researches and for his publications of his books, and also he was a most famous criminologist. His researches includes about the both the criminal behavior of juveniles and of the adult offenders. He was thinking not only about, in addition to the developing of meta-analysis and the evolution of his results, but he examined the wide range of the subjects that includes the juvenile curfews, school-based prevention programs, boost camps for inmates, and many more other things. As he was a member of British Society of Criminology, his researches mostly covered the aspects of the prisons and imprisonments, murders, and serial murderers. And also, the Wilson has received most of these honored two honor and mostly Wilson has received two honors from the American Evolution Associations, and also he has fellow and he is also the fellow of American Society of Criminology as well. And moving further, his publications includes of new various books like of the Signs of a Murderer, Serial Killers Phenomenon, and also the famous books like as The Crime and Punishment and so more. He has written about everything in his publications and books. Mr. William Wilson has written about the jails and criminal justice reform of hitmen, serial murderers, and many more. His most recent publication is The Sign of Murder, which was published on 16th of July 2020. In this book, he has talked about the murder that took place in his hometown when he was a child, where a young woman was murdered by a man uh, rightfully, due to the unrightful inspection done by the police, the wrong suspect was put behind the bars, whereas the original culprit was on loose and was roaming freely in the streets. Uh, Even though after these murmurs grew that there were the whispers and the gossips around the hometown was going on that the original murderer was on loose. So in this book, the William Wilson has covered about how the missing of small details by the police, by the detectives, leads to the destruction of the life, or we can say the wastage of lifespan of a person who has to wrongfully serve in the prison. As in this book, he talked about the Mr. Smith, the person who was originally engaged to that woman, but due to some reasons their engagement broke off and she was engaged to another person. So during investigation, police found that the ring engagement ring and the engagement ring of the woman was missing. So naturally they interrogated Mr. Smith because they thought that due to his revenge and jealousy he might have murdered, as uh, there were no any murder in that hometown prior, so that cannot so that they cannot conclude it as to be a serial killer's doing. So as the offender was so they concluded that the murderer might be Mr. Smith. In this book, we found that most of the times Mr. Wilson has covered about how the innocents are being accused, but the real culprits are on the loose in this society. And moving on further, my friend Dhanveer will talk about his media works and about the charity foundations and the works that he has done.
Hi, I'm Dhanveer, and here I'm going to get you acquainted about David Wilson's media and charity work. To start with media work, David Wilson mainly focused on two things. First is radio work, and second is TV work. In radio work, a radio work program presented by David in 2016, and David tried to spread awareness about crime and punishment. David also had to devise and presented Radio 4S in the criminologist's chair, which was first broadcast in 2016. In TV work, David Wilson also presented series on TV in 2018. I got this information from the interviews, books, and TV programs of David Wilson. He made his first series in 2018 and wrote a book named A Plot to Kill. One interview of David in which he told a story of a serial killer, which was a real story, and he solved that case in Australia. This case was very famous in Australia, and after that, he made a series on that case in 2020, which his name was Inside the Criminal Mind. In this story, a woman killed four children. Out of four, two was in same family, which was a proof that was not an accident; it was a murder. When two children died and remaining two were sick with blindness because that woman who killed them gave them antidepressant pills. David started his investigation in 2019, and from 20 days to near about 4 months, he finished his job, and with the help of soil samples, it was a different way to solve the case. With the help of some soil samples and with the help of some doctors, forensics, and many other ways, a series of David Wilson shows that his way of investigating was different. As a result, with the help of TV programs, radios, and series, he wanted to spread awareness regarding crime and its punishment towards people. Now I'm going to get you acquainted about his charity work. About his charity work, David Wilson worked in many foundations, such as vice chair of Harvard League from 1999 to 2014. After that, he joined New Bridge Charity, and then he worked in Cranston Friends Trust Charity. I got this information from his work, namely Life Field, the memoir of a lifelong activist. The David Wilson Foundation provides grant funding sports for charities on a discretionary basis in the East Midlands region. The support for organization in typically provided in circumstances involving projects related to the developments of young people. The best opportunities are for those who have gained support from other sources, so his grant support is match funded. His preference is to help fund grassroots charity with the voluntary infrastructure and where every contributes towards their project for cause. The activity is most likely to be met with a positive response, and those connected to young people, education, sport, and construction. So this is our end of presentation. Thank you.
Kiran, can you switch over the references?